Now, this is coming from Sky News Australia, and this was 2 days ago. So, by the time this video is uploaded, it's probably already happening right now that she's going to testify in court. But, yeah. I didn't know this was on the timeline.
The chairman of the US House Judiciary Committee has written a letter to E-Safety Commissioner Julie Inman-Grant requesting she appear before a committee. We're going live now to Kira Hain. She joins us. What did it say, Kira?
Julia, this is the letter that was sent by Jim Jordan to Julie Inman-Grant, Australia's E-Safety Commissioner. You can see it's dated December 30. Now, this is the second letter that he has sent requesting that Julie Inman-Grant travel to the United States.
Wait a minute. I'll try to read this as best as I can. Dear Miss Inman-Grant, the Committee on the Judiciary of the U.S. House of Representatives is conducting oversight of how and so what? Oof. 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 I do not want to be in E-Safety Commissioner Grant's position right now. Oof.
She appear in front of Congress and give her voluntary testimony. Now, this relates to Australia's social media ban on under-16s, which came into effect earlier this month. To explain sort of the overarching concerns that they have, the United States is investigating how foreign laws could affect and potentially damage free speech in the United States. I'll read you an excerpt which explains in a bit more detail the concerns that they have. It says, "We are concerned about the extraterritorial content moderation requirements of Australia's Online Safety Act, eSafety's attempts to mandate global content takedowns, and your collaboration with a US university and other."
Right. First off, investigate that university in the US. And second, get Keir Starmer to also testify. In fact, better yet, the entire flippin' Labour Party. And if that doesn't work, forget deportations. Americans have Second Amendment rights. I'm just saying. You don't need to come. You just need non-lethals to break their bones. And trust me, as someone who has a BB gun in my house and can only be used in specially specified areas or in my own home, because I'm not a crazy person who wants to go around all willy-nilly with firearms or even replica firearms. And like a certain group of people, I'm not gonna say what group of people it is, but we all know who I'm talking about. All I'm saying is, if the police here in the UK aren't going to be using baton guns, essentially, or baton launchers, get ICE to do it. Anyway, I'm going on a bit here, but yeah. Yeesh. Again, do not want to be in the Safety Commissioner Grant's position. Also, serve some light. Also, how about we don't do any online safety acts? Because, let's be honest, I feel like online safety acts are not only offensive to parents, or at least parents with common sense like my mom and dad. My mom more so than others situation. My mom more so in some situations. I mean, even with age rings, there were some games that I wasn't ready to play as a kid. Borderlands being a franchise, one of the franchises that I wasn't allowed to know about as a kid. And besides, we have stuff already in place. Hell, it even got so bad that when I noticed a video from Black Belt Baristas of her channel, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna service with the President in the United States, or even just the White House, and say, nuke 10 Downing Street if you want. I think I asked him to do it. God, that was so fucking stupid. I should have phrased that better. And I did it on X as well. Elon, I will take my time. Don't worry. That was stupid of me. I apologize. Yeah.
The foreign governments to design and implement a global censorship regime. Moreover, new documents indicate that eSafety harassed American companies ahead of the implementation of the social media minimum age law. Now, as I mentioned, this is the...
Look, I get that in some cases, especially when it comes to mental health, that some people, myself included, could take things a bit too far if they don't regulate properly when it comes to certain stuff that's happening in the world. And any form of journalism nowadays can be taken with a grain of salt. You know, unless it's the kind of journalism that is more focused on fun. And you can watch the videos, but mainly come to your own conclusion. Watch their videos, or read the articles, and just come to your own conclusion. Also, I've been hearing about the whole hooplas of reading isn't actually reading. Goalpost movers are gonna keep being goalpost movers, I guess, because I don't care. I've got a physical copy of Dot Monster Revolution somewhere I could read after. But yeah, I do not want to be in any position to talk about that because that is completely different. It is silly. Parents, teach your kids to read books. Trust me, You'll thank me later. Also, put your foot down when you tell him to stay off the iPad. Don't flinch. Grow some fucking backbone. I know, it's just crazy for a YouTuber who talks about politics and dealing with the reality that some people aren't being, what they claim to be. And I'm just screaming at clouds again. You know how it is. Not that meme. I know. Fun. Anyway.
Second letter that's been sent to Julie Inman-Grant. The first one was very similar, explaining those same concerns, but this one a bit more stern, really reiterating that request. Here's a clip of Julie Inman-Grant responding to that first letter that was sent to her in November.
During the letter, it's voluntary, but I do note that it's interesting that there's discussion about using extraterritorial powers to consider bringing me to the U.S. when I'm being targeted for using extraterritorial powers.
Bitch! What the hell do you think you're doing? That's exactly what you are doing. Just like the rest of the World Economic Forum. Like, I don't care, man. In certain aspects, the GDP of certain places lie. Like, there's even certain states in the US that are dealing with so many problems, like New York, unjustly just arresting people for being actual native citizens, not native as in, but you know what I mean. So everything that's going on right now is basically this, as far as I'm concerned in terms of my mood with all politicians. And it's not just about taxes, by the way.
On Celestiary 24th, a legal plan was uttered for it. The ponies paid the princess on the basis of their legal worth. The pony was appointed, but the plan became disjointed when he couldn't get a penny because he couldn't count past 20. The problem was abated with a warble and a garble when the pony they'd related choked to death upon a marble.
Sweetie nearly died from that, but I was there to slap it
I
back.
guess that's good, but try to focus. Here the story comes to Locust. New collector comes to town, got his numbers written down, sees himself from door to door. Ponies ask him what it's for. For the princess, he replies. Ponies say they'd rather die. Slam the door.
That is just the part that is my mood right now. I'd rather die. But there is a part in this where, I can see a lot of people doing. Hey, guys, editing Fortline here. So, that little snippet I showed you is actually from a MLP animation created by Dawn Summer. I highly recommend you go check out their channel, but yeah. I'm not gonna show the last part of the whole scene that was from, but if you've already seen it and you know the context of what I meant after that, then yeah, you already know. Honestly, I really hope that Bards is put in charge of the UK sooner rather than later, but for now, I'm just gonna focus on the initial video that I wanted to do before this one, because I really didn't want to make any videos about politics, but I guess talking about politics is a resolution that I'm not gonna actually sort out this year. God dang it. Anyway, here's the thumbnail for the next video. I hope you guys are excited. I'm currently still working on character designs, obviously. I haven't decided on a design that sticks for some of the characters, but honestly, I think this looks pretty good. Okay, bye.